Greetings, everybody. It's Jim. We have some beautiful artwork here from Robert Phillips, who did the counters for the game the adventure we're going over today. And you may not have heard of him as much as maybe Pat Hitty or Liz Danforth and such like that, but his artwork definitely captures the feel of the era at the time. And the thing is, I was actually requested to do this video, but the thing is, I had already played the adventure like a year ago, maybe even more, and I just never did the video. I typed in, I said, I got that video, because most people say, hey, you got that video? And I say, yeah, I already did it. But this one I didn't. I totally, I just missed the air on that one. So today, I'm going to be going over with you why you should be using Orb Quest from Metagaming. All right, and since we're talking about the fantasy trip, hey, you remember these coins that we got for the Decks of Destiny? I believe that's where it was. Nice little commemorative piece and stuff, a collector's item, as it were. But the thing is, it works okay. I mean, it's a coin, right? It's plastic. But at the same time, it is hard to see. Now, you can see it here on the screen pretty well, and that's from a photo. But laying on the ground or on the table a little farther away, you can't easily see it. Even on my hand, I kind of got to look at it because there's not a... It could probably use some ink shading or something like that, then maybe you can see it better. But I got a better solution for you. The folks over at Paladin Role Playing, they sent me some dice and some such, but I seen these and I said, send me some of those. The fantasy trip players will like it. And they did. They sent me these coins. Okay, and these are not small coins. They are nice and big. They're perfect for flipping. Right there, bam, there you go. Bob's your uncle. And they have a gold one, and here's the back for that gold one right there. And they have a silver one as well. Now, as for the ones that I've got, I would say that the gold one comes out a little bit more than the silver one. Again, you can see it right there. There's nothing really wrong with it, but this is just more pronounced because of the ink and the shading for the gold ones. So you might want to go with that because the whole point of replacing this is to get a good coin that you can just see. So this is a nice little coin. Use the link down below to pick yours up. It's like 10 bucks. It's a solid coin though, and I highly recommend it. So an obvious question is, what is the adventure about? And the thing is, it's a sequel to Death Test, because after you defeat the Death Test, obviously you are good at, in the Thor's eyes, getting out of situations that are really tough and long. This makes you a perfect candidate to go after these orbs that are spread across the land. And that's important because this adventure is replayable. And that's why there's multiple, or they say there's multiple orbs. You can go through the orb quest again and again and again, as opposed to Death Test, where I do feel like, yeah, if you go east when you play it one time and then go west the next time, you are going to come up against different monsters and stuff. But to get to the exit, sooner or later, you're going to encounter the same rooms, right? It's going to happen for the most part. While Orb Quest works in a totally different way, which we are going to go over. So here we have the map for Orb Quest, and as you can see, it's really not too much different from the Melee Wizard maps, just a different configuration. It's not like, Security Station where the rooms get so much smaller and you get to close combat so much quicker that you really have to rethink your weapon configuration. And another thing that I didn't know when I was playing Orb Quest, because all the adventures before I played Orb Quest were using the Melee Wizard maps, right? So I was just using the kit that I had from the most recent version of the Fantasy Trip, and I was just playing away. Little did I know when I plopped this map out, because it was different, that the counters were much bigger than this, because originally all the counters were smaller and I didn't know, so I actually had to use the mega hexes I had, and that's fine, and it wasn't too hard. But I mean, I didn't know that at the time, which is kind of funny because this little pocket box that I just got the other day, using some of my swag money from writing for Hexagram 11, you get a few bucks. They say you get 50 bucks in an article. So if you actually want to write an article for Steve Jackson Games, write down some of the crazy ideas you have and send it off to him. What do you know? You never know. I mean, everybody would like to get their name in print. Go for it. That's what I say to any of you. But anyway, when I got this, I thought I was going to put my personal Melee Wizard, well, keep these in there, but I'll put Death Test in there and use this as a replacement for those 3 boxes and just save some shelf space. That was the whole point. However, these are much smaller. These are the original just like Orb Quest, the original size. So I'm like, oh, well, I can't use that. But I'm keeping this as my travel kit. I'm just going to put Death Test in here, 1 and 2, and it fits everything, and I'll just take it to teach people on the fly how to play Melee and Wizard. So that's pretty cool. So what's the difference between Orb Quest and Death Test? They're both situational encounters, right? And you gotta get past so many to get to the end. Well, Death Test is more of a maze. You could take the short way or the long way. You know, you can go through the whole thing to get to the end of Death Test, which would be a challenge in itself. But the thing is about Orb Quest, it is one encounter every layer of the tower. Okay, and then you finally get to the end. I think it's like 7 or 8 challenges set. And the difference is, the way it makes it a little easier for replayability is every floor you actually pick 1 to 3 doors. One of 3 doors, and you choose one, you go through it, you have the encounter, you get to the next 3 doors, and you make another choice. So the chances of, I can say I've played it, I think I played it 3 times, and I did not, I still have rooms that I have not encountered yet, which is nice about these things, and that's why they say there's more orbs so you can replay that. While Death Test, even though that you can definitely say, okay, if you go east when you play one time and west when you go the next, chances are you may see new rooms that you haven't before, but sooner or later you're going to still, when you're getting to the end, you're going to kind of get into that same area of the last few rooms for the most part, I think. If I remember the map correctly. While Orb Quest, you definitely you're not going to see, when you play it once and get through it, you've only seen 1/3 of all the rooms, period. So you really want to play it again sometime. So that's the replayability of Orb Quest. Now, one thing I did notice with Orb Quest, I definitely was concrete evidence in Security Station, was the idea that, they based everything heavily on anything that was available in Melee and Wizard, and only Melee and Wizard. They did not dip into anything from In the Labyrinth at all. The role-playing game, which has a much more expanded creature catalog. Okay, so now they did do a good job of making things different in some way, shape, or form through some situational modifiers to the battle, and which is important. You just can't. It's one thing in Death Test when they say here's some bears or here's some wolves. Well, they've done that already, right? So they got to change it up, and that's the one thing I would say about Orb Quest that they did very well. So the hardest thing about Orb Quest right now is purchasing Orb Quest. There's 2 guys right now on eBay that are trying to get $140 plus for that. Okay. Now, I can't recall what I paid for it, but I can definitely tell you it wasn't more than $40. Why? Because I generally don't do that anyway. It takes a lot for me to pony up that. My patience and frugality kind of win in, and I just kind of wait for it to happen, and I pick it up. Matter of fact, as a good example, what's on my wargaming table right now is Gondor from SPI. I got the 2 mini games, Gondor and Sauron. I've been looking for it forever, and I picked that up for $100 for both of them. Okay, and the counters were clipped, and it was all beautiful and everything. I was very excited about the condition because to get the whole thing, you actually have to get the box set, which was like $300, and I understand that because it's Lord of the freaking Rings, right? So that's understandable. But it's really tough for me, with my inner frugality, and just I got the patience to get what I want. I just gotta wait to get it. So it's okay. And again, everybody, check out those coins and dice. The link is down below from Paladin Role Playing, and I'll see you next video.